The subject of a digital divide is not only confined to different communities, but I guess in a broader case between South Africa, Africa, and the rest of the world. How do we make sure that we narrow that gap?
I think we will narrow the gap, but the challenge you have is there are communities that are ahead of the pack. There are kids who today, when they wake up and you say, let's go for a holiday, they ask you, is there good Wi-Fi? And then there are kids, when you say, let's go for a holiday, they say, what are you talking about? So we need to deal with our economical challenges that we are faced with. Hence, the schools and the community platforms are what we need to visit. Because otherwise then we're going to have kids who fall out of the pipeline completely, not because they're not good, but simply because they just don't belong. Everything else you do now is electronic. Have you seen how hard it is in terms of servicing people in banking in the rural communities? It's hectic. But we need to move along and adapt, because if you look at our villages and rural communities, at least they know how to use a cell phone. Hence, I have sheer respect for money that moves on cell phones, because that means we're moving towards reaching these people in a language they understand. There are things they can do with technology, and I think it's time we build solutions that are geared at responding to what they can access.
If I'm a CIO of a big organization, what are some of the challenges that I would face in an organization?
In the modern day, the first challenge you'll face will be budget shrinking. There is a solution though. The challenge we've always had in IT is that we've always defined an IT budget. And I don't believe there is an IT budget. There is a technology budget for the business, but it can't be an IT budget. When you make it an IT budget, the CIO must justify this budget. But if you make it a business budget, but where business is investing in technology, then business must justify its budget to itself. Currently, with shrinking budgets all across the globe, the biggest challenge that we have is that IT finds itself justifying how much more money must go into IT. But then with digitalization, the lines are becoming blurred. The IT budget or the technology budget sometimes lies in the hands of the marketing, the head of marketing or chief marketing officer, because now the product design has got a lot of technology inside it. So because of that, we need to get to a point where we bring back alignment. We've got a governance framework that we can build to ensure that business and IT are aligned, but we now need to adapt our governance approach such that it applies even in those digital products.
One of the other subjects that's crept up is mergers and acquisitions, where big organizations are coming together, having different legacy systems. How do we ensure that we can marry the two for business to perform?
Again, I will go back to IT governance, because if IT governance is correct, the CIO is not left out of the loop. The challenge you will have is if the IT people only find out when you've agreed about the deal. Then you wake up and you realize, oh, this means that whatever we think the numbers are going to look like, it's not true, because there's a major investment in bringing the systems together. And you need to define standards and adapt some of these technologies. There are times when you need not kill the legacy system, but there are times when as a CIO, you need to kill the system. But then you need to apply yourself to what is the business dependency, what are the related risks, hence it needs to be a business journey. And gone are those days where CIOs will sit there and provide technology. You need to make business aware. They need to make the decisions. They own the decisions that they make.
And skills?
The skills gap is real. Hence, I think we need to be passionate about developing talent. The CIO survey that was done by Brainstorm recently, it shows a shift from the previous one. The first one that they did was in 2014. The 2015 one, the results look better than 2014, but we haven't moved too much. We're still battling. And the digital journey requires new skills as well. So it also talks to the transformation agenda. Are there women in IT? It's a few women in IT, and it's not nice. Because there is a lot of women in IT, but as you go up the IT ladder, you have a few. And it's critical that we appreciate that women bring different skills from men, and we need both skills in the workplace.
Tshifhiwa, thank you so much for your time, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.